Is it done? Galadriel, you're as wet as a mermaid's bikini. Why?
Because she was skinny dipping with Sauron.
Yeah, well, he's gone now. And we might want to think twice about making that ring, since he can use it to corrupt the wearer. So, do we proceed? No. We must make 3. Because 1 will corrupt, 2 will divide. With 3 there is balance. Yep, or 3 lots of corruption. But to be fair, if we don't make them, there's not going to be a second season. Not that there should be anyway. Okay, it sounds like a plan. But we need materials of the highest quality. I'll need gold and silver from Valinor.
Well, I'm not swimming all the way back there. You'll have to use this dagger. Well, I got to admit, I thought they'd come out a little bit better than that. I'm guessing the rainbow one's yours, Elrond.
Uh-oh. New ratings out for Rings of Power. It's frustrating that the ratings are like, we're getting like the 4th episode ratings, and the finale was over a week ago now. But we have a clearer picture. And what I suspected to be happening looks like it is happening. And a backtrack from Amazon writers coming out and saying that actually, no, we are not going to listen to fan criticism about the show, and season 2 will ignore feedback, which is odd because I thought they spent $1 billion on this show and they probably wanted it to be successful. They probably wanted all these YouTube content creators creating positive videos about it, like you see with in my own community here. Channel's happy to discuss House of the Dragon in a positive manner, but I guess they want to double down on being terrible, which is a bold strategy, Cotton, to be sure. We'll get into all this after a quick word from this video's sponsor, Meta PCs. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Meta PCs. Look, you've been around, you know that I've been talking about Meta PCs for a very long time. In fact, it's the primary computer I use. But it's not just because they're a sponsor. It's for so many more reasons. They have fully customizable, configurable PCs and all the hardest to find parts in stock and ready to go. They also have ready to ship PCs ready for you today. Here's a couple reasons why I like Meta PCs. First and foremost, it's veteran ownership. Meta PCs is a veteran-owned business. One of Meta's owners has served both in Afghanistan and Iraq and received a Purple Heart for his service. Meta also employs military veterans in Meta's Operations Center and also provides systems to veterans going back to school to help them re-enter the workforce all across the United States. They offer financing. It has 100% US-based sales and support. And when you receive your PC, it's ready to go right out of the box. You don't have to get complicated and set things up. You just plug it all in and you're ready to rock. And on top of that, Meta PCs is offering you, my viewer, a huge discount when you use the link in the description or you use promo code TheQuartering. If you use my code at checkout, not only do you save money, but you support my content and a company that will not bow to cancel culture. So maybe you're not ready to pick up a new computer today, but when you are, remember to go to metapcs.com and use promo code TheQuartering to support me and to save money. And everybody wins. Now first, Lord of the Rings Rings of Power Season 2 will not address fan feedback, say creators. Creators JD Payne and Patrick McKay explain why Season 2 will not incorporate any of the feedback from fans. Debuting on Prime Video last month, Rings of Power chronicles the rise of dark forces of Middle-earth. During the Second Age, the series, which is based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, we all know what Rings of Power is. Why are you just padding this article? The Season 1 finale to Rings of Power features a number of exciting revelations, including the revelation that Halbrand is Sauron himself. We all knew that from the beginning. Not only that, but it was revealed that the stranger is an Istar, of course a wizard, of course Gandalf, the same race as wizards like Gandalf and Saruman. Despite many aspects of Season 1 proving generally popular, Rings of Power had been the subject of intense debate online, with many fans not liking how Payne and McKay have adapted Tolkien's source material. Rings of Power currently holds an 82% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but some critics have pointed out the show's pacing and narrative momentum has room for improvement. I think, like, if you fix those two things, pace and dialogue, it's an 85, 86. You know, it loses 10 points, maybe 15 points to some by being disrespectful to Tolkien lore or ignorant of Tolkien lore or just ignoring it altogether. But what they say in a recent interview with Vulture, creators J.D. Payne and Matt Kay discussed their approach to fan feedback in heading into Season 2. While acknowledging that Season 2 will incorporate many of their own learnings from making Season 1, fan feedback hasn't necessarily factored into their approach. Interesting. Quote, "We're certainly listening to the critics and to our audiences. You don't want to give any one voice too much weight, but figure out what people are responding to in aggregate. I don't know if I want it to point to any specifics." Patrick says, "My immediate reaction to that question is no. Not that we aren't paying attention to the response to the show's having. I don't know how you could shut it out. But the second season has been written for some time now, and the storytelling grows and goes in different directions. That is informed by what we learned on season 1 on our own. There are things that seemed to work really well and others that didn't work as well. The storytelling will be different next time, not because of the response to the show, but because of the experience of us making the show for us." What a condescending, fart-sniffing answer that is, isn't it? Going on to say, he's saying essentially, well, yeah, I mean, we know that critics don't, people didn't like it, but we're not ignoring. We're making the show for us, not for the fans. Let me read that again. Not because of a response to the show, but because of the experience of making the show for us. Now, maybe he's not saying making it for us. Maybe he's saying we learned this, we learned these things in Season 1. I think that there is, if you're a creative person too, there is some value in saying not like knee-jerk bending to every little complaint about things. That I understand completely. But also, when you want to say, like, we're just ignoring it, and we hear it, but we're not paying attention to it, we don't care about it, I don't think that really lends itself to, one, ingratiating yourselves to the Tolkien fans that are upset with the show, and two, actually making the show any better. If they had taken the time to talk about how, hey, we hear you, we hear the feedback, and we're definitely taking it into account, kind of thing. Not every piece of feedback is part of it, but I think we really want to make a good show for the fans and for Tolkien's legacy. I think that would have been a much better answer instead of we're not really listening to it. And then you see these ratings come out on October 20th. Dahmer dominates the Nielsen US streaming chart as House of the Dragon passes Lord of the Rings. Dahmer had already been anointed as the second biggest Netflix series in history based on the company's own data. Dominated Nielsen's US streaming chart for the first week of September, 19th through 25th. The Ryan Murphy-produced series, whose full name is But Don't Care, pulled in more than 3.6 billion minutes of viewing. That actually puts it into perspective when we were talking about now it is seven episodes, 6 or 7 episodes. So they had, and it's all released at once. So you're kind of able to binge more of it. So there's that factor of it. But when Lord of the Rings dropped 2 episodes, which was about 3 hours, which is the length of about 3 of the 7 episodes on Dahmer, maybe there's only 6. It's not that crazy different. Netflix captured 8 of the 10 slots on the overall list, but HBO Max's House of the Dragon and Prime Video's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power finished 3rd and 4th. HBO's Game of Thrones prequel, which has been a massive draw across all platforms, leapfrogged Rings into the number 3 spot, collecting just north of 1 billion minutes viewed only on HBO Max, which means they have many more minutes viewed on their cable network as well. Rings was close behind with 977 million minutes, though the J.R.R. Tolkien adaptation had 1 episode fewer than its fantasy competitor, a fair criticism. On the other hand, vagaries of Nielsen's measurement scheme mean that one Dragon episode only has 3 hours counted each week. So I would say that you could probably count it even, Cobra Kai, which topped the ratings the week before, gathered 1.1 billion minutes in second place. The tally was a big drop to those prior weeks, 1.9. Well, yeah, it just came out. So everyone was watching the new season, and they were watching the old seasons to get caught up. It was creating new fans who were starting over from the beginning. So when you have an established show, you're always going to have big minutes when that new season drops. Here's what we have. Netflix's Dahmer, 3.66 billion. So close. Cobra Kai with 1.11 billion. House of the Dragon at 1.008. Just call it 1 billion flat. And then again, that's without the HBO cable network, which like Prime Video doesn't have. So it's probably closer. It probably is higher than Cobra Kai, almost certainly, because it's only like 2,000 minutes shy, or 20,000 minutes shy, or whatever of Cobra Kai. No, 200,000. No, whatever. You get what I mean. And then you have honestly, In the Dark, which I never heard of, 918 million, right behind Lord of the Rings, and Coco Melon, which is a babysitter channel, at 817 million. What is In the Dark? That's interesting. I don't know what that show is. It's a Netflix show that does not rate well, about a blind girl. Okay, I'm oversimplifying it, but yeah. So we see Rings of Power kind of steadily going down even as more episodes come out. What is going to be very, very interesting is now we're getting into I think this would have been right around the 3rd or 4th episode. So now we're going to get into the episodes where like people are starting to get bored. Like when we get the new Nielsen data next week, I predict a significant drop off for the Rings of Power between episode 4 and 5. We're going to have to wait and see exactly, but this is tracking just about how I expected it to. People are getting bored and tuning out, but not massively yet. Well, I mean, losing the House of the Dragon is pretty embarrassing, but nonetheless, we'll have to keep an eye on this. We're probably not going to get the real data, like the finale data, until like the end of November when no one cares anymore. But I'll keep updating everyone. If you enjoy the content, please do make sure you leave a like on it and you subscribe to the channel wherever you happen to be watching it. I greatly, greatly appreciate your support, and we'll talk to you again real soon.